after that last one, I got to get my brain back into the world it lives in. A few years ago, we added some new programs to our continuum of care at the Buckeye Ranch. This created the need to have some organizational realignment. Those changes, coupled with our strategic initiative at that time to really do better around supporting our staff, led to the creation of a professional development department. I have had the privilege of building and leading that team. One of our first charges of that team was to support our orientation program. For many years, that program had been led by one amazing woman. But our organization had grown, become much more complex, and shockingly, she remained one woman. And it was just beyond her capacity to really manage what we needed to do in orientation. So we were really excited that we now had some more resources and more people to support that work. We immediately recognized that we had problems with our orientation program. Like many of you, we have a substantial number of trainings that our new folks have to go through within the first 30 days of their employment with us. Some of our people have to have certain trainings before they can even see our clients and interact with our clients. We were growing as an organization, our turnover was increasing, and we were working really, really hard to get our new team members through orientation, get them all the trainings that they needed their first week. We truly believe in the importance of helping our new team members recognize their responsibility around client confidentiality, around abuse and neglect reporting, around clients' rights. And of course, we want them to know what to do in case of a fire, a tornado, a bomb threat, a hostile intruder. We want them to understand about our mission and our history, our principles of quality care, our core values, our policies around harassment and discrimination. And we want them to understand our benefits and how to sign up for them and how to access our intranet and how to get paid. All of these things and more are important. So we made sure our new team members got all that information their first week with us at the Buckeye Ranch. And by doing that, we guaranteed that they would retain approximately none of it. I'm one of those folks who really happens to believe that these mandated trainings are important and relevant and meaningful. I also happen to know a little bit about the human brain and about adult learning. And I know that by cramming that much information into that short a time, we're not enhancing learning. In order to learn, people need a little bit of space between the topic they're introduced to. They need time to reflect on it, time to absorb it. We were determined we have to figure out a way to allow more space between these trainings so that we had a fighting chance that our folks would learn something. At the same time, we were growing, we had turnover, we were hiring more people, and we were under a lot of pressure from our programs to get them through orientation so they could get on the floor and start working with our kids. We decided we are going to figure out a way that we can spread out this orientation over 2 weeks. It wasn't easy. We have multiple topics, which means multiple presenters who have responsibilities outside of orientation. Some trainings have to happen sooner than others so that folks can actually start to interact with the clients that they're supposed to be working with. Moving schedules means changing rooms and reserving rooms and so many different details. So what we did is we literally took little pieces of paper. We cut out little rectangles to look at the size. This is a 60-minute training, a 30-minute training, a 90-minute training. We had our little rectangles of all of our trainings, and we proceeded to play Tetris with our calendar. And eventually, we were able to come up with a way that we could not only spread orientation out over 2 weeks, but we could also have some variety to our locations. We could have some of our team members come to a different site and see one of our other sites for the Buckeye Ranch. I was very excited. I thought, finally, we're going to have a chance that our folks are going to actually retain some of this knowledge. So to launch this new program, we did all the things. We communicated with our supervisors, our hiring and recruiting team. We made sure that all of our presenters could accommodate our new schedule. We published schedules, and we set a launch date. And we planned for the inevitable glitches that we knew we were going to face. In early 2022, we launched our new, improved, enlightened orientation program. And not only did we have a couple of glitches, it was a disaster. Thank you, Matt, for talking about the beauty of failure, because it was a disaster. It was confusing to our team members. It was confusing to our supervisors. People were missing sessions. We had a whole lot of folks who had a difficult time coming back that second week. It was really a mess. So we knew we had to go back to the drawing board. And we knew it needed to start with rethinking what is the purpose of orientation. Our light bulb moment came when we watched the following video.
What was your first day like at your current job? Do you remember it? I've talked to some people who have some pretty underwhelming memories of their first days. You show up and the receptionist didn't realize you were starting that day. So you're shown to your desk with a compliance and ethics binder to review until your boss shows up. And on your desktop itself is this weird random collection of stuff. There's a ballpoint pen and 67 binder clips and like a floppy disk drive from the 80s. Your chair, it bears the imprint of its previous owner, like an ergonomic butt fossil. Eventually, a good Samaritan on your floor stops by and introduces herself and then carries you around to meet 30 other people in 5 minutes. You immediately forget all of their names. Any of this ringing a bell? Neglecting the first day of a new employee's experience is a huge missed opportunity. My brother and I have been studying defining moments in people's lives and in their careers, and so often these moments are transitions. Think about the way we tell our life stories. Well, I was born in Milwaukee and I went to school in Chicago, and then I took my first job out of school, and that's where I met my wife, Samantha, and then we moved back to Milwaukee to have kids. You see what's going on there? You're telling the transition points. In fact, cultures take transitions so seriously, they have rituals to demarcate and to celebrate them. Think about graduation ceremonies or weddings or rites of passage rituals. Transitions deserve attention. The first day of work is a classic transition point. It deserves attention, but most organizations are not providing it. But John Deere is. There's a woman named Lonnie Lawrence Fry who worked in the internal branding department at John Deere, and she worked with a consultant named Louis Carbone to create what they called the John Deere First Day Experience. Here's the way it worked. After you accepted your offer letter, a few days later you get an email from a colleague at John Deere who would tell you what people wear and where do they go to lunch and where should you park on your first day. And when you arrive, you see your friend at the front door. She's got a cup of coffee for you. And you walk in the lobby, and it says, "Welcome, Steve," on the giant LED monitors in the lobby. You're Steve. You're in lights. You get shown up to your desk, and on your monitor is this beautiful shot of John Deere equipment on a farm at sunset. It says, "Welcome to the most important work you'll ever do." You open your email box. You've got an email already. It's actually from Sam Allen, the CEO of John Deere, and in the video, he talks about his career and he talks about the mission of John Deere, which is to provide the food and the shelter and the infrastructure that's going to be demanded by the world's growing population. At lunch, Your colleagues take you out and tell you about the projects ongoing. Your boss stops by in the afternoon, along with your boss's boss. They both make appointments to talk to you in the weeks that follow. And you walk out the door that day thinking, I belong here. The work that we're doing, it matters. And I seem to matter to them. When they rolled out this experience for the first time in Beijing, some of the employees who'd been working there a long time said, can we quit and rejoin so we can get the first day experience? Shouldn't every organization in the world have a moment like this first day experience? And shouldn't we be paying more attention to these transition points in employees' lives, starting with their first day, moving to their first job with people reporting to them, all the way through to their retirement? If we really care about improving the employee experience, about boosting employee engagement, we need to start paying attention to these transition points and start creating moments that matter.
The power of moments was a mind shift for us. We recognized that we were given the privilege of crafting the first days of our new team members' experience with the Buckeye Ranch. And we had to step back and ask ourselves, what is that purpose? If the purpose is to document compliance with training for governing boards and credentialing bodies, we met our goal. Not only did we offer all the trainings, we had attendance rosters, documented content, evaluations, and a system to record and track all of it. Check, 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 check. We nailed it. But if our purpose is to welcome new employees to the Buckeye Ranch and foster connection with our mission, we needed to completely rethink what we were doing. We realized that taking little Tetris squares of trainings and spreading them out over 2 weeks is not rethinking our purpose. It's actually more akin to rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic. The fundamental assumption of that approach is that our sole purpose for orientation is to impart knowledge and ensure compliance. But our goal is not just to develop compliant employees. We are working to develop committed and connected team members. It's not just about knowledge, it's about connection. It's about the people who have chosen to come to the Buckeye Ranch and what we need to learn about them, about who they are, and about what they bring to this work, and how we can connect their commitment to our mission. If you were to join the Buckeye Ranch today, on your first day, you would be greeted by our CEO, who would ask you what brought you to the Buckeye Ranch, and tell her something unique about yourself. You would meet our supervisor of our adventure therapy program and engage in group activities to help you think about how you bring yourself to work. And over the next 3 days, you would learn about our trauma-informed care model by building a brain. You would have an opportunity to be introduced to our employee handbook by working with your peers to create a commercial or a song or a poem and share with your other group members about a meaningful policy. You would have an opportunity to consider how your unique strengths contribute to the mission of the Buckeye Ranch. Your experience would culminate with watching an inspirational video about understanding the power of your why. And you'd finish with making your own vision board about how you see your work at the Buckeye Ranch contributing to working out your why. Trust me, we still ensure that our new team members get all the requisite trainings they need and in a timely manner. But we figured out a way to do that where we still can maintain putting first what is most important. And let me just say, I have nothing against John Deere. They make lovely tractors, which I'm sure provide a really important purpose. But I can say with full confidence that the work that we do at the Buckeye Ranch and the work that all of you do is the most important work anyone can ever do. Thank you.